Hi, welcome. Welcome to my stream. I'm going to try to do this differently this time. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, it's a learning curve. This is all learning for me. Okay, so as I promised, I don't know how long ago now, probably more than a week. Well, first of all, let me say yesterday was Father's Day. Hope everyone had a good day, regardless of whether you have a father, you are the father. Because I noticed when I was a single mom that I had to play both roles at sometimes. So, it happens. So, anyway, hope everyone had a good weekend. And now I want to try to review the deleted footage of Jessica Kent with Jason. But what I want to do is I'm going to go through that little segment. And like I said, it's not a whole lot. It's just enough to get his mannerisms and his speech pattern and stuff. Not more so about what he's saying and the content of what he's talking about, but how he appears in the video. Then we're going to have Jessica speak on the videos themselves. And then I want to do something else and show you something else, and we'll get to that. So bear with me. We're going to go through that. It's not very long. I forget how long it is, to be honest with you. Probably, okay, it's like 4 minutes. It'll take a little bit longer because, I have to speak over it and do what we have to do. But so it's very short, but just watch Jason and the mannerisms that everybody was complaining about. So we'll start there. And let me get that screen going. Okay. And let's see where we are here. So you can see, how can I do this? Let's do her. Let me go to, okay. I think we're good. Let me go over here and let's do this too. And like I said, it's really short. The whole thing is 4 minutes, and there's also 2 videos connected to this of Jessica speaking. So it's going to be very quick, but it's just about the mannerisms more so than what they're actually saying, even though a lot of things that they say has been proven wrong. And that's not really my intent here today. Is just to kind of see how he's reacting.
They didn't, but they did because it's all in there. So I want to start with
jailhouse lawyers. The guy that says the feds is better than the state, he's a fucking liar. Don't listen to him. Just punch him right in the mouth when he tells you that shit.
Yeah, state's horrible. So you're from Chicago. How in the hell did you even end up in Arkansas?
I went to prison for stealing a Mustang GT Cobra off dealership lot.
Now notice she had to do these B-rolls to put these images over in editing. And it's not to improve the story. I really don't think it is. I think it's to cover up his mannerisms and what's happening. So that's another thing. She did this throughout the video, and this is part of what she's done, is to cover it up.
Somebody set it up right. Went on my tow truck, grabbed that thing, and drove out of there. Well, there was stickers all over the windows. And some dickhead at the fucking muffler shop across the street called the cops.
Watch his mouth, like how it's drawn up on one side. His fingers, his hands, how they're, and they look like arthritis. I want to give you that. But I've seen this before, and I just want you to pay attention to actually what you're seeing and not what they're leading you to believe. So, I mean, he can have carpal tunnel, he can have arthritis, he can have all these issues, but I want to show you what it looks like. Watch his mouth, watch his hands.
So I pulled out of there in an old raggedy ass tow truck that had a light bar, hook and book, which is mean you can back up and just steal it.
You see how his pinky is like frozen in time? His hands are in that gripped motion.
With this $90,000 car on the back of it. This is 2003. The cop's like, nah, this ain't right when he came behind me. Now, my first instinct was smash the gas to like 70 miles an hour, and I can hit the clamp and let the car go, and it'll take out the squad car, and I can get away.
See the fingers? Do you see what I'm talking about? And the mouth. Don't forget the mouth.
But my buddy's like, no, pull over. We can get out of this. There was no way we're getting out of this. So we pull over. The cop's like, what's your name? I don't even answer no question. I just sit there because I know I'm fucked. Because it's got the price stickers and shit on it. So I go to prison. I come home from prison. We still own the towing company. I was in prison for 2 years.
That drawled up corner. That's not manic. That's not arthritis. That's not carpal tunnel. It's just not.
I got 3 years sentence for a possession charge I have with my buddy. Bono, I'm putting his name out there. Fuck him. And stealing a Mustang Cobra off of the lot. So Bono's story's pretty good too. You know, he thinks he's smart. He brings every time I go get high, I have to like ditch my wife.
It's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch. How is she sitting across from him watching this and not thinking this is not okay? And then, like I said, she added the files and the things on top of it to try to cover it up so we can't see some of the actions.
Because she didn't want me getting high. And I'm like, I want to get some milk and just run off. So and I'm like, well, I'm already in trouble. She can't yell at me more than once, right? So if I'm gone 5 days or 1 day, I'm only getting yelled at for one time, right?
Sorry. Jessica's head shaking. No, like, oh, I can't believe you just said that. I can't agree with that.
I'm a prick. Look at your face. Anyhow, we still have legal business out. My brother-in-law had it, and I get out, and I think I'm gonna come in there and just be what I used to be. You know, I rebuilt a brand new Grand Prix, and I go to this bar and I meet this.
The mouth is getting tighter and tighter the more he speaks. His hands are still doing the crab crawl, crab grab. I don't know what they're, but it's hard. It's hard to watch.
Girl, and I picked her up and I'm bringing her home. I'm driving through Park Ridge. The cop that worked there.
Okay, so that was the most I have of the video. Like I said, it's not much. It was just visual. I mean, it's more about what he's doing than what he's saying. And then the next day, I guess, I don't recall, it's been a while now, but people in the comments were like, whoa, he is high. He is, they were all giving their opinions and maybe facts. I don't know. They were doing it and doing their thing. And she got offended and took the video down. And then this is a response to that.
Took down today's video because a lot of you guys were saying that the audio is messed up. It's all over the place. And he's
personally, I don't think the audio was that messed up. I mean, it's hard to hear, but you can, if you're really focusing on it, you can understand it. I think it was Jason. I don't think it was the recording. I think we have a problem with Jason.
He seems high. I took it down for a lot of reasons, and I get why a lot of people think that. He has tics, especially after what has happened to him recently, and he was also manic. But I took the video down because...
Okay, Jessica, what has happened to him recently other than relapse and being sent back to rehab? You say these things, but you never finish. You know, like the last video I did was the 5 days that led up to Reese shooting the gun or the calling for the welfare check. 5 days leading up. This is Jessica's words on those videos before that was, I'm going to give you the 5 days leading up to it. I have no idea to this day what happened in the 5 days leading up to it because she doesn't fulfill her promises. She doesn't tell you exactly what she says she's going to tell you.
One, I don't want you guys to be triggered by his mannerisms and how he was in that video. I also don't want him to go to the video and be like, I mean, come on, everyone thinks I'm getting high. I might as well go get high.
This and what she's about to say is so disturbing. I don't want everyone to think it is what it is, Jessica. There's no denying what we're looking at. I mean, what it is still up for debate, but there's no denying what we're looking at. It is what it is. We see it.
You know, because when 200, 300 people are telling you that you're doing something that you're not doing.
She has 1 million followers and she's only got 200 to 300 people telling him that he's high. I'm sorry. That is not funny, but it's like, where's these million followers not commenting and saying things?
You're like, fuck it, I might as well go do it, right? I don't want that to happen. But it's my fault. I have full creative.
It is your fault. It's all your fault. You have the channel. You have the ability to put content up or take content down. And really the most important part is to not put it up for anyone to judge in the first place. Just like with all your current activities, if you don't put it out there, people aren't going to comment on it. That's just a fact.
Control. And I thought that I could take an almost 3-hour video and chop it into 46 minutes. I couldn't because.
Can you imagine what he did in those 3 hours? If she chopped it down to 46 minutes with all the edits on top of him, like covering it up with the car driving down the road and the police lights flashing. And can you imagine what actually took place in her home for 3 hours with that video going or recording?
Because it was all over the place. So it's my fault, not his. I don't need to get help because he looked high.
You need to get help because you're hanging around with the wrong people. Well, none of us really care what you're doing, Jessica. I'll be honest with you. Just for me speaking, I mean, I care about you as a human being, but right now I could care less what you, I care less. Something, you know how it is. You can do what you want to do. It's the fact that you have 2 children involved in this situation. You've taken their fathers from them at this point. You have a responsibility to do everything under the sun for these 2 little girls, and putting them in a home that has these type of people around them is not the answer at this point. So if it were just you, whatever, but it's not. It's those 2 little girls.
I'm okay. And I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.
We're going to get to the next one quickly.
So I've been sitting here thinking about a lot of different things. I read a couple of y'all's.
She seems to come back and have to defend herself over and over, not just in this scenario, but in everything she does. She's a very defensive and choose kindness. I have a whole nother issue with her that it popped up over the week. Well, maybe it was it was over the weekend that, about the domestic and stuff. So I have a whole nother issue with her. This one's about Jason, and I'm trying to focus on Jason and what she plays a role in the Jason situation.
DMs, and I love you so much. And I just wanted to say what's on my heart right now. And that is, it is so hard to be a human, right? Then have mental health issues and also be an addict. And one of the hardest things coming out of addiction is that you are constantly.
Is she talking about herself or about Jason?
Reminded of how you hurt your family. And we did that. But to constantly be reminded of who you used to be when you're trying to be someone new, you're trying to change.
You're not showing us someone new. Actually, you are, because there's times on here that I can say I watched you and I had no thoughts in my head that you were doing anything wrong or that there was anything nefarious happening in your home or around you. But now everything you do is questionable.
Your whole life, you're trying to save your life, right? And someone's constantly telling you that you're high when you're not, it's just not good for you. I didn't say what I said in the last one because I'm like, oh, he's going to go relapse because of this. No.
You blamed us, Jessica. You blamed the viewer that because of people saying that he looked high, he was going to go use again. And that makes it our fault if he relapsed, which we think it was prior to this. But if he relapsed after this, you're now putting the blame on us, the viewer, that we made him relapse because we said you look high.
No, I just know how it felt when my dad asked me where I was going, when I would be back, and who would be there. And I was 32 years old.
How old are you, Jess? Where's your dad for these girls right now? I'm kind of confused on you speaking on. I feel like she brought her dad in as a sympathy, like to make her seem human. And relatable, that she has family that cares about her and that questions her sobriety. And where is he right now? Why is he questioning you when you come home at 32? I'm so confused.
So I'm like, I did that. But it's hard to be treated like you used to be when you're trying to be someone new.
They didn't, but they did because it's all in there.
Okay. So that was the Jessica content. And let me get to, I want to come over here and I want to take that. I want to give you a new thing to look at. We're going to look at something else and we're going to see what happens here. And remember, this is about the mannerisms. This is about I want you to keep watching the mouth and the hands, and we'll go from there. But let me go over to, sorry. Let's do this again. Okay. And remember, this is about what it looks like. Not necessarily what they're, I mean, we can look at what they're talking about, but it's more so about, I just want you to see what he looks like. This is 1 year ago, and he had just got out of prison. Jason's home from prison.
I wasn't a friend, a person I knew. I went to go meet him and help him out. He called me up, needed some help. So I brought him an 8-ball, which is 3.5 grams of drugs. You're going to say it like that, right?
Okay. Do you see his mouth? How it's open and free to some degree? I mean, he normally talks this way, and everything I've watched, what we're watching now, is there's not a speech impediment by any means, but just this, there's something about his speech, but nothing compared to what we just watched in that last video. So just in his hands, see his fingers. I mean, arthritis could be in there. There could be some of the carpal tunnel, but do you see how generally straight his fingers are?
They know what an 8-ball is, right?
Yeah.
I went and brought him an 8-ball. And when I went to go meet him, he pulled out a gun on me. And I'm like, what's with the gun? And he's like, I thought he was going to rob me. So he pulled his gun out of me. He says, you want this gun? It's a Kel-Tec 9mm.
Watch his fingers. Watch his mouth. We're going back to the other video of current. And this is a year ago when he just got out of prison.
Your gun, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, I don't want no gun. I don't mess with no guns. I don't want no gun, nothing. He's like, man, just take the gun, man. Just take the gun. I'm like, no, I don't want the gun. Well, he gets out the car and he throws the gun in the car and closes the door on me. And I'm like, what the? And I go to roll the window down and here comes the police to arrest me. So,
do you see how? Do you see what I'm seeing? I can't be the only one. I cannot be the only one to see. His mouth is straight across. His hands are, I mean, we're all aging. There's going to be some bend into our hands. Some, flexibility is lost over time. But it's totally different than current day.
I take him on a high-speed pursuit and threw the gun out the window and made it to the golf course, got away just about, and then I got arrested at the golf course.
So I'm going to show a clip of that right now.
And just, it's painful. It's painful to watch her think that this is, that it's okay, that this is what it looks like. I have one more somewhere that I wanted to show. And it's, again, we're watching the mannerisms, we're watching the hands, we're watching how jerky his movements are, how his fingers are bent or unbent. So let's do this one here. And get you to the full screen so you can see what's going on here. Again, watch the mouth, the hands, the arms.
Projects and stuff, but it's still not the same as having somebody around, you know, to kick it with and talk to.
He might steal Bowie.
Yeah, I might take the dog. My daughter's cats are freaking out with him, but he's pretty good with the dog.
They're checking him out.
Yeah.
First of all, they look so awkward sitting on that couch together. I'm just gonna let's call the obvious out in the room, but he didn't have the jerky movements. His fingers aren't locked in bent mode. His mouth is straight across, not crooked. It's a whole different demeanor.
Now what?
And then we were talking about when I got arrested, they took my daughter from me to try to use her against me to talk. So when they raided my house, she was there. They came in.
See how flexible his fingers are? And I mean, he's moving. I move when I talk. So, I mean, I'm not criticizing him for having some movement, but the jerkiness is gone. The frozen locked jaw movement is gone.
They were looking for stuff. They didn't find nothing but a gun in a cabinet with a safe. It was in a gun safe. The girl I was with wasn't a felon, so she was going to take the charge for the gun, but they wanted me to go to prison and talk about what was going on because they wanted to find the drugs and stuff. So they took my daughter from me and used her against me to talk. I wouldn't talk, so they kept her in DHS custody for 2.5 months.
Mm.
And we had to go to court and release custody of her to my mother-in-law at the time.
I hate that. But now you got 2 other children involved in this situation. It's extremely sad. It really is. That's it. That's what I have for you today. Just please watch it with open eyes and understand why people are seeing what they're seeing and saying what they're saying. And I promised you I'd get to this. I wanted you to see the year ago footage. Both of those other videos are from a year ago. And I wanted you to see those so that you could get an idea of why, if you're just coming into the situation, why people are looking at it today and questioning his movements, his actions, what we're seeing. It's a lot. It really is. And for her to delete it, she knew it was bad. It's not because anyone accused him of doing anything. It is, but it was to cover her butt. It wasn't to. That's not carpal tunnel. I'm sorry. It's not carpal tunnel. Anyway, please like, subscribe, leave me comments. Let's discuss it. Do you see what I see? Is it just me? Am I the only one that's catching on to this? I don't think so. I think everybody did. That's why it's deleted. But I want you to see it with your own eyes. I want you to compare it from a year ago to today on what we're dealing with and why people are questioning and why people are saying what they're saying about her. So have a great day. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming.